Hey guys, how are you? Encyclopedia Nick here. It's my new shirt. A friend of mine got a friend of mine named geez, my friend Charlie made this for me. They call me Encyclopedia Nick down at the record shop that just opened. Hey Lauren, how are you? Good to see you. It's good to see all of you because it's been such a time getting on here in the past month or so. A few things been going down, and glad the Rangers are getting back on track. What's up, Whitney? How are you? The one true Whitney. Sorry. Lauren, what's going on, Lauren? One thing that I have to remember to do next time when I want to make a live video is hit go live. So that's oh man, gotta hit go live next time, right? Yeah, that'll do it. It really will. It's a hat my sister got me from Canada. It's from the Hard Rock Cafe in Rome. I'm Canada. Duh. She went to Europe and she got this hat for me from Rome. And it hey, enjoying red velvet cookies. Oh, that's nice. Gee, thanks. Where's mine? Oh, thanks, Lauren. Yeah, my sister got it for me in Rome. I said Canada. I was close. Um, oh, Allie, no, I wasn't talking. I was just moving around here. What the heck? Everything was so overlapped, one on top of the other. All the screens were on top of each other, and I had to move it on the bottom. And I said, okay, here we are. Thanks, Lauren. Glad you like the kit. Yeah. How much will it cost you to cook me up a batch of them red velvet cookies there, Whitney? Maybe you'll have some by the next stream tomorrow night with the Rangers. So all the Rangers needed was Troach. Well, we don't know yet. We don't know if that's the case. We have to see. We have to see if Trocheck is. But I mean, they looked good the other night. I'm really happy they won, and by the margin. I called the score. I said 7-3, and I'm glad that that they did win by that much because they're due. But tomorrow we got to be careful because the golds may come as a what I call as a premium because I don't know why he's not captain. I have no idea why he's not captain. I mean, if Miller starts to warm up a bit, then you got to give him a chance, I guess. It's his first year being a captain for the Rangers, so let him do his thing, and let's see what happens. Anyway, um, but I think Troach has really came in. Yeah, first year is always a bit rusty. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is. But I'm glad we got great hockey fans and all my good friends in here tonight. Alley Cat is also a Devils fan, but she's welcome anytime. She knows that. Maybe we'll see you in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Wouldn't that be something? We'd have to divide the chat from one end of the chat to the other. So no, I'm only kidding. We love you, Allie. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. Yeah, yeah, you're laughing already. Yeah, I see. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, a happy Friday first, everybody out there. And speaking of music, which I really wasn't, but speaking of Christmas, I was in the pizza place today near my job, and already 100.7 FM is playing Christmas songs as of today, November 15th. And they might have started last week for all I know, because I don't have a radio at work anymore, thank God. So I don't have to be hearing All I Want for Christmas Is You by someone who calls herself the Queen of Christmas. We won't talk about her. Well, you can here, I don't mind, but oh boy, Christmas songs already. It's not even Thanksgiving. It's crazy. Yo, Uncle Paul, que pasta, man? Make a dinner. But wanted to send special hello. Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Paul. Hey, Uncle Paul, I wanted to tell you, I heard it at work. I saw the I guess it was the 60-second the 60-second version of your stream where you talked about picture sleeves and ones that were made that were like homemade. That was a real cool one because I'm so much at the collective picture sleeves. It's not even funny. They actually tried to make a solo 1968 Paul McCartney Christmas for the song that he did. Um, then that it was a make do picture sleeve, for his song that he did on the 1968 Christmas message. So, but I really thought that was cool. Thanks for doing that, Paul. Yeah, the fantasy sleeve for Hey Jude. Yeah, there's a sleeve for Hey Jude in practically every country but ours. So I guess it didn't need the sleeve to sell, but I do have the Apple sleeve for it though. I do have the Apple sleeve, and I have to say that Hey Jude and Revolution are really a what do you call you know it's an amazing experience in mono to hear those two songs, especially Revolution. It sounds much more um, distorted the way John wanted it. And he said of the stereo mix, he said they took a heavy record and they turned it into ice cream. Oh, a revelation, I wanted to call that. Yeah. Yeah, that Hey Jude and Revolution's being originally recorded for mono. Uh, the original 7 minute and 11-second version, which basically you only get on the mono masters and the single. The stereo one is 705, I think. Yeah, yeah, I think it's 705. Yeah, the double A side. That's right. Yeah, it was a double A side. George Martin had a little bit of reserve on whether or not that the radio would play a 7 minute single, and Paul McCartney said they'll play this one. So, but between that and MacArthur Park, which came out the same year, MacArthur Park was almost, if not 8 minutes. So, um, I have that single too at the picture sleeve. I don't play the single very often. It's not because of people that think that it's a bad song or anything like that. It's just it's in my collection, and it's just sometimes it's for the picture sleeves, you know, which I think it's a cool picture sleeve. And the song I think that the Jimmy Webb, I think all heavily deep dived in long form. Playhouse episode 26. Okay, episode 26. I got to look for it. Okay, yeah, because that's one of my favorite singles is Hey Jude. But like I said to people, you got to listen to the single version of Revolution. Because when I was in my friend's record store last week, we played the Hey Jude album or the Beatles again. It was the Beatles again. It wasn't the Hey Jude title on the label. And when Revolution came on, I said, "Have you ever heard this in mono? Because it's so much more, heavier." And I grew up hearing it stereo first, and then I heard the mono version. And you know, the mono version is like it's just so amazing. It's like I don't know. Is it heavy metal? Like unofficially heavy metal, possibly. But I think Revolution is my favorite track. One of my favorite flip sides in mono anyway. Uh, that was a double A. That was a double A side. I mean, like Uncle Paul says, he's got such an awesome. Um, he's got an awesome channel. You have to check him out. Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. It's not only Beatles. It's cartoons. Let him say it himself here. Uh, he has so much cool stuff. Cartoons, models, cereal boxes with records on them, the ones that used to cut out and the cardboard 45s or cardboard records. Yeah, you're very welcome, Uncle Paul. You don't have to thank me. You know that. You know I'm here for you, bud. But I'm glad that you. Well, I'm glad I was able to see that, to see the short version of it, which I thought was really good. Oh, Lauren, the song is "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. That's the song. That we don't want to mention it again. Allie, I'm sorry I had to mention it because Lauren didn't know. So that'll be the last time I mention that song tonight. So, and this is I'm gonna do. So if anybody wants to know, yes, yeah, I know, Allie, I know. Um, if you guys are curious, next month I'll probably be doing a Christmas video. I would say with some of most of my favorite Christmas albums and singles. I'll be presenting that night. Much too early for Christmas now. I mean, it was about 60 degrees outside today. Again, if you lived in Florida, it would be 60 degrees then anyway. So it wasn't bad. The last couple of days were The wind the last couple of days went right through you over here in Pennsylvania. But I don't know if the snow comes, it comes. I don't know if it's coming. I saw some sleet for like 5 minutes the other night. And that was it. It was chilly here, but it snowed a few days ago in New Jersey. Yeah, Allie, how much did you get? It was chilly here, but it snowed a few days ago. Yeah. Whereabouts in New Jersey did it snow? Was it Newark? Was it Central? Was it up north? Because I didn't see any kind of forecast like that. So I didn't. Not this time around. Sussex County. Oh, Uncle Paul. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, less than 2 inches. Okay, all right. So no big deal. No reason to get the plows out. But if it's snowing in Texas that much, they close the entire state down, as opposed to Canada, which they have they have constantly everything running. They have the rock salt going down all the time. They have the plows going 24 hours a day, so nobody's missing work, nobody's missing school. So that's what happens. I think we were talking about that in the hockey chat the other night. Yeah, about the snow. Yeah, Buffalo gets it too a lot. I think even earlier they get it in October, and it's the same thing. They upstate New York, they just plow everything and put the salt down. You have slow mode on. Sorry if it takes a bit to reply. Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I can leave it like that because yeah, you know why? Because I didn't fix it. The first time around I had it down to 30 seconds. So was it taking 60 seconds? Probably, right? I don't know if I should hit edit because this whole thing might go haywire on me. So, but being I'm on. Oh, hang on, let me get a bottle of agua. This water timeout is brought to you by Deer Park. Deer Park. That's good water. Now we're back, courtesy of Deer Park Water. Nothing like it from a 6 pack in the freezer. It's all good. Yeah, sorry, it's been so cold. Well, you don't have to apologize for the weather. I like Poland Spring too. I like Poland Spring, but if Deer Park is there in a 6 pack and it's two for $5, I'm picking up Deer Park. The only water I can't drink, well, which I would never try, is Evian. I mean, think about it. Evian water spelled backwards is naive, so I think I'd stay away from that. Aquafina, I've tried to drink. That doesn't taste like water at all. No, you see, Ali, if I have to drink any kind of water that's bottled, I have to drink Dasani over Evian. I mean, Dasani has got more minerals in it, and I think a little bit, a, a tad of carbonation. Uh, but I also like, I don't know if anybody here knows about it, but clearly Canadian. They're like fruity waters. They're carbonated, and they have all different flavors like boysenberry and raspberry and peach and all that kind of stuff. Somebody bought one for me at work the other day, and it was pretty good. I think it was, I don't know, it was blueberry or raspberry, not raspberry. Raspberry tastes like cough syrup. Raspberry tastes like cough syrup. That tastes like Robitussin on ice. Skull. Oh, that's good. I need that. Ew, it's an alley. All right, play nice in here. What's up, Nicole Lawson? Glad you could be here tonight. Ali, thanks for spreading the word. I thought I'd see Andrew and Aaron here, but maybe they're out tonight. I would think it's Friday night. They're probably out someplace, I would think. I'm going to be out tomorrow, so I don't know if the game tomorrow was in the afternoon because I'm going to be spending time with my family, and then I'm going to be going out after that. So uh, I'm not sure if the game is on in the afternoon. Okay, so that's that for that. I do have those two fossils are probably asleep. Yeah, fossils. Yeah, I got about 20 years on the two of them. Yeah, okay. Those two fossils are probably asleep. Yeah, I don't think so. They order pizza pies at 10 o'clock at night. I don't think they're sleeping, honestly. But it's funny stuff. It's funny stuff. Yeah, yeah. Well, let's share some of my treasures I found over the last month or so, as the title of the stream says. But we could talk about anything. I mean, if you want to bring up any kind of topic, like the price of tea in China, you know. Deer Park, that's good water. Well, this I got signed. Oh, tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Oh, all right. I'll probably be home for it then. Thanks, Nicole. Well, this I got a while ago. I might have shown this on one of my previous videos, but this is not recent. This is probably back in, oh, it was at a Fest for Beatles fans. Probably, yeah, where was I living at the time? I was in Edison, New Jersey, and we went to the Fest for Beatles fans. And at the last minute, my friend says to me, "Do you want to bring something for Klaus Vormann to sign?" Klaus Vormann met the Beatles when they were in Hamburg, Germany, like before they were popular, they were cutting their teeth as musicians. And Klaus Vormann was also an artist as well as a great bass player. And he designed the album cover for the Beatles Revolver album. And my friend said to me at the last minute, do you want to get something for him to sign? He said, "I'll wait for you." I'm like, "Yeah, let me go in the house and let me check what I got." So I had mono copy of Revolver, and up here, if you could see it on this side, it says to Nick, Klaus Vormann. And he couldn't have been any nicer to me, Klaus. We talked a little bit about the album cover, and I talked to him about he was on playing bass on the Concert for Bangladesh, and I said to him, I know that you're playing bass on a Concert for Bangladesh. He said, that's a good album, and he gave me the thumbs up. He was like, it was very in his English accent, very positive time, he said to me. And then I said, what's also interesting is that he also did the cover for Bee Gees' the first album. Let me see if I even got it here. I might have it in this box down here. If not, I'll show it next time, perhaps. Wood Fantasy. I might not have it in here, but I know I have it. Because he also did the front cover for that album too, which I didn't mention because I didn't think of mentioning it. But I said to him, I know that you're playing bass on Carly Simon songs, is what I said to him. And he goes, "Oh yeah, You're So Vain, for example." And his eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. Like I might have been the only person that ever mentioned that to him that day, because everybody was asking him questions about the Beatles and stuff that he really couldn't answer. Because he was playing bass for a lot of different people in the '60s, and then in the '70s he was playing bass for Carly Simon, George Harrison, on All Things Must Pass. So he was very nice, and we took a picture, and I have the picture, but it was one of these kind of cameras back then. It wasn't. I didn't have a regular. I didn't have a phone camera back then. Yeah, that's right. Probably. Yeah, Allie. I got to see some of your drawings. I guess I could see them in the Discord. Yeah, Lauren, I love the Bee Gees too, but my favorite, I like all their stuff, but my favorite era of the Bee Gees is from 1967 to 1974. Starting with Bee Gees first and going up to their 1974 album, Mr. Natural, which if you haven't heard it, you got it. You got to. stream the early stuff, Lauren. I'm serious. It's really, really good. Getting my stuff on a vinyl cover would be a hell of an achievement. Oh, keep at it, kid. You never know. You never know. You could do an independent group's album cover. You know, there's so much great independent music that's out there that I've listened to with my friend, and it's not it. It's hardly known on the radio. It's not going to be known on the radio. It's like I find out about these people like through friends, and then they tell me, and I go online. I listen to it free on YouTube, and I'm saying, why is this stuff not even like in the mainstream? It should be, and it's not. I mean, there's a group called the Beths that are out of Australia, and my friend sent me a live album of theirs, and they were absolutely terrific. And it was a terrific recorded live album in Australia, and it was produced greatly. And I just can't believe it. And somebody told me when I put that on YouTube that I first heard the Bets, I'm like, yeah, well, they're not the Cranberries, mate. Well, I was like, well, I didn't say they were the Cranberries, mate. I said they were the Beths. I didn't say anything about the Cranberries. I didn't say they were better than the Cranberries. I know who the bloody Cranberries are. Well, that's not Australian, it's English. But still, I mean, you could say something in a chat room and people could be all over you in 5 minutes. It's crazy these days. It's like I try to keep away from all of that. On Facebook, I like look at stuff and I'm like, yeah, you say one thing and people could go nuts. Well, they do go nuts. Not they can, they will. What's my favorite album cover design? I feel you've mentioned, but I remember nothing. Okay. Well, must have had a good time last night if you don't remember anything. Just kidding. Oh, Revolver, without a doubt. It's my favorite. My favorite. Has to be. Because it's my favorite album. You got, I mean, look at the way you got real eyes on it. You got John drawn just the way he was at that point in 66, that he looks so skeptical. Paul is like, more aloof than he was on the Rubber Soul cover. Ringo just looks like, hey, I'm here for the, but I tell you though, what really got me when I was shopping for Beatle records back in the 1980s, and they weren't the original copies anymore, they were the reissues. This is what really struck me was the back cover. Because they look like they're having a great time in the studio. And Ringo looks like he's having the most fun. And Ringo looks like he's a teenager in this picture, even though he was 26 years old when this was taken. Was he 26? No. This was during the sessions for Revolver. So the sessions were Revolver were early to mid 1966. So he very well could have been still 25, as John was. They were both born in 1940, but this was released in August, but the sessions were in the early summer. So John and Ringo were still both 25 when this album came out. I mean, when the album was released, they were both, John was still 25, but Ringo was 26. But that's like I turned it around and I was like, they're just having a cool time in the studio. And the glasses they were wearing, so cool. I mean, but also too, because I said this a million gajillion times, but Revolver and the Paperback Writer 45 is an era. They're both an era that nothing like came like it before, and nothing like came like it after. Because after Revolver, they evolved into Sgt. Pepper's, and then after Sgt. Pepper's, they evolved into Magical Mystery Tour. In Magical Mystery Tour, they recorded the title song from Magical Mystery Tour, not the whole album, but the title song during the Sgt. Pepper sessions. It was like they were working on two concepts at once. I mean, hey. Yeah, it's a collage design. That's the way Klaus Voormann did a lot of stuff, was by collage. And he did a little bit like that with Bee Gees first. He had like eyeballs at the bottom of it, and and the Bee Gees are standing there at the top in 1967, and they were like kids, but they were making great music too. But that's my favorite album design, Ali. Yeah, my favorite is Revolver. And this is a copy that I got at my latest at the record shop in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Tell your friends, Railroad Records in PA on Vine Street in Bethlehem, PA. You heard it here from Encyclopedia Nick. That's what they call me in the store. They just started calling me that, and then they started making shirts. And my friend Charlie's wife Nancy makes the shirts and makes um all kinds of different things because he just started in August. My friend Asa, who started the store in August 2nd. I didn't go until later that month to check it all out. But they started calling me Encyclopedia Nick because you know then I guess because of the knowledge that I've accrued over many years. But I take it as a very big compliment, and that's what they call me when I walk in there. They call me Encyclo for short. So I'm like, okay, Encyclopedia Nick. It's good. Yeah. But yeah, the collage design is great. This is a stereo copy that was on the wall, and I wound up getting it for a good. I didn't get it for I didn't buy it for like the sticker price. He wound up coming down on it for me after about a week or so, and it's in the shrink wrap. It's a late '60s copy of Revolver. It originally came out in 1966, and it has the two guys price sticker on the back. Two guys, and the price code was A. So whatever A was, that's how much this record was back then. So you figure if this is a 1968 copy, there's no hype sticker on it to say what songs are on it. Because if there was a hype sticker that said, if there was a thanks, Nicole, thank you. Uh, if there was a hype sticker on this that says includes Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby, then people would, go nuts for it. But I have I have a copy in shrink. In mono, do I? Yes, I do have a mono and shrink with the green price tag on it. That said $3.99. Of course, I didn't pay $3.99 for it. That was another Beatle Fest that I was at. I paid $25 for it. Guy had 35, and I said, "How about 20?" He said, "How about 30?" I said, "How about 25?" Sold. So yeah, I love collecting copies of Revolver. I really do because, like I said, it's my favorite album of all time by any group, by any artist. And my favorite 45 is Paperback Writer and Rain, but my favorite song of all time is Rain, which I know is the B side. But Rain charted on its own. It went to number 23 because that was another double A side single. Because they did apparently, I'm sure they played Rain on the radio back in '66. I'm sure they did. Uh, Paperback Writer, I think, is also probably one of their best sonic records, the best sounding 45. I think. It's like, and they made the bass. The bass was originally so loud on that 45 that they had to lower it because it was making the vinyl was making the needle jump off the record. That the bass was so loud that the stylus just bounced off. So they had to fix it for that 45. And that 45 in mono is a hell of a listen. And the Paperback Writer mono 45, the mono version is longer. And I didn't know that until I bought a reissue of the 45 in 1986. So water break. What else did I get? Which one is this? It's Beatles 65. This. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one I found a while ago. I might have done this on one of my previous ones, but this is Beatles 65, and this is another great record that they released on Capitol Records in December of 1964. And it's a reissue. It's a stereo reissue, but it's on. They went back to the Rainbow label for it. It originally was released on the Rainbow label. This is like an early '80s press, and they put it back on the Rainbow label again, which I loved, and it sounds terrific. It sounds more like true stereo on this one than it does on the original, especially She's a Woman and I Feel Fine. And most of these songs came off of the British LP Beatles for Sale, which was released in December of '64. Which Beatles for Sale is one of Andrew's favorite Beatles albums. He said that many times before. And I got to agree with him. It's one of my favorites that they released. It's the original one they released in the UK, and then we got it as Beatles 65 in America. But I think no matter what version you listen to of it is, they're both great. So, okay, what are the goodies that I get? Let's see. Hermits, including the single "I'm Into Something Good." Uh, the shrink wrap in mono. That's the original Hermits album. I think this is the first cover because there are other ones that had the sticker that says Mrs. Brown, you have a lovely. It came out as Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. That's what the name of the song is. And they did have it as a sticker on here as you've got a lovely daughter. But then they didn't want the kids to be talking slang. So they put the sticker on it that says includes the single Mrs. Brown, you have a lovely daughter instead of you've got a lovely daughter. So I think I got the issue that says you have a lovely daughter, which might be rarer than the you've got a lovely daughter, even though the you've got a lovely daughter came out first. But I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, back then. Okay, what else here? I wish Andrew was here tonight because I know he loved this one. An original copy of The Doors Morrison Hotel. I've been looking for a copy of this on an original copy for so long that I'm glad I finally found it. I think it's an original. I want to say it's an original. I believe it is. It's got a cut corner on the bottom, which means that it's probably a promo or a cutout that it went into the cutout bin. Well, a cutout bin was something that they put that they put in a record bin because sometimes they would send so much to the record store, but the record store would only sell so many. So they would maybe get an abundance of the records and then would have to discount some of them. And some of them will wind up like in a 5 and 10, 5 and dime, drugstores, whatever. They would have records. Sometimes Crazy Eddie, if you remember Crazy Eddie, they would have records out in the front, and sometimes they wind up in a cutout, and not because they were, not because they weren't good albums. I mean, some Beach Boys albums wound up in a cutout bin. I mean, in the 70s. Well, not many people listen to the 70s stuff. Many people were, but it didn't get their 70s stuff didn't get as much attention as of course the surf stuff. But there's one here that's in my collection. This has the original hype sticker on it. This is the Beach Boys Holland, which was released in 1973, and it was recorded in Bain Bruges in the Netherlands. They made their own studio in Holland and recorded the album there. And this comes with the lyric sheet as well. And I believe it comes to 45 RPM records. See if it does. I'm not sure if it does or not. It does. Here it is. The EP that came with it. This is actually an EP of a fairy tale that Brian Wilson wrote called Mount Vernon and Fairway. And it's an EP record. Oh, it's side 3, side 4? Is it only one of them, or is it both of them? Oh, I think it was only one of them. Is it only one of them? Yeah, I think it's only one of them. Yeah, it has side 3 and side 4 of the No, I'm sorry. Side 3 and side 4 is the continuation of the Holland album. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mount Vernon and Fairway. Brian Wilson wrote this for the album. Or initially, was it going to be on there because they didn't understand what was going on, but they did it anyway. And it has the hype sticker on it called of the two songs, "Sail On Sailor" and "California Saga." California Saga Big Sur, which is one part of the California Saga. There's three parts to the California Saga. It's California Saga Big Sur, California Saga The Beaks of Eagles, and California Saga On My Way to Sunny California. And this is one of my favorite albums. And what do you know? This also has a two guy sticker on it, but it was code C. So I don't, this has to be like a 1973 press or early press anyway, and or around there. And I wonder what the code of C was in Two Guys. See, Two Guys was in a record store. I mean, if this was code C, like in a Sam Goody or a Camelot Music or, what do you call it? Music? There was Music Land because Music Land was part of Sam Goody. Disco Mat, which was in New York. It could be like it's a stereo album because by 1973 everything was stereo. So except for special mono records that were made for radio. Could have been $6.99 if it was maybe $5.99 if it was in a record shop. Tower Records in California, Tower Records in New York could have been a lot more. But if you bought that in Two Guys, it might have been maybe $4.99, $3.99, something like that. But the Morrison Hotel, I think Ali was pretty impressed by this. Yeah, it's an original copy. The copies they release now, like the 180 gram vinyl, I have like a 180 gram vinyl of the first Doors album, and L.A. Woman, but I also have an original L.A. Woman, and yep, here it is. And it has, here's the original. Here's the Elektra sleeve that came with it for Elektra Records. But I like, I always love collecting the Doors original albums if I could find the originals. The 180 gram vinyl is now like $30. I bought like a couple of the Doors, what do you call them? A couple of the 180 gram vinyl, but they were like, I don't know, $14, $15 when I bought them. Okay, this is on the red vinyl, red label. I would think that this is an original. I think it is. I think this is from 1970. Would it say it? Probably would. Maybe. Interesting. Maybe it's a second pressing because maybe the early pressings would say record first published in 1970 because I believe that's when this album came out. So yeah, it's a really good. I love Roadhouse Blues on it. And the song "Waiting for the Sun" is on this album. There was an album called "Waiting for the Sun," which came out before that, but the song "Waiting for the Sun" is on here. Oof, that's a lot. Had to have a look how much vinyl records of Black Sabbath they're going for with Ozzy's signature on. Quite a bit. Some of them crazy. 1,000 to 3,000. Some of them are going for. Nicole, were you looking at Discogs? Because, or were you looking on eBay? Because it's so crazy. It's some people, years ago when I went record shopping, and I used to go to shows and I used to go to different stores, there were records now that are like $30 that I would get for like $5, maybe 10. And they're $30 now because they say some people that are out there are shopping for the first time and they're picking up the albums at the prices they're picking them up for. I mean, that's it. With the collection I got, I try to slow down a little bit now. But it's more the camaraderie when I go into a record shop now. to talk music with people, but and of course on here to talk, and on my and on Medium where I write. Um, but yeah, I think some records might be overpriced on Discogs. In fact, I think quite a lot are. Um, for an original copy of Hotel California by the Eagles, I mean that thing could go for like $20, $25, and I'm like, that is such a common record. Why is that going for $25? I don't get it. Even and even like the Desperado by the Eagles on LP. It's crazy. It's crazy for that. Um, yeah, eBay mostly. Okay, yeah, Nicole, I understand that. Yeah, yeah, eBay is getting a little crazy, but this Cogs, is a little crazy too, because sometimes sometimes that's most likely what the dealers in the stores, and maybe what the dealers at the shows. I have not been into a show in a long time, but one of the shows, maybe they use Discogs. I don't know, but a lot of times they were just priced to sell. Records were priced to sell until people started using Discogs, which I thought was a little weird. But would be neat to have an Eagles album. Hotel California is one of my favorites. Got to see Train perform that cover live a few weeks ago. Train? Yikes. Because it's you, Ali, I'll let you mention Train. Because, I don't know, Soul Sister just doesn't do it for me. I know I'm being honest. I'm being very honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I just yeah, the music is people like it and it's cool, But I never really was. I never was a Train fan. And Hotel California can only be done by the Eagles anyway. So the original. I mean, pick up an original copy of the album if or even the CD if you want to get the CD. I mean, that's fine. It's crazy. Train is hit or miss for people. I really love them, but I also listened to them as a teenager going through my edgy phase, so it fit. Okay, okay. Well, I missed the train, so kinda. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I'm slaying myself tonight. All right. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, it just maybe because it became such an earwig on the radio where I used to work because every day I would hear Soul Sister. I mean, if that's the same group we're talking about, because every day, every other song, every rotation, you'd hear that, and that was crazy. I just and their version of "Joy to the World," the Christmas song, just not do it for me. It's just I can't take. This is just a preview from my Christmas video. It's um the way they're just remaking the classics. I mean, they have to leave Little Saint Nick alone. Number one, the Beach Boys are the only group that does that for me. I mean, that's it. You know. And Christmas Baby Please Come Home is always going to be Darlene Love. Always. Always going to be Darlene Love. I don't like anybody else's version of it. One of the best Christmas albums, a preview, is A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Les Records, also known as A Christmas Gift for You from Phil Spector, and also known as Phil Spector's Christmas album, which I have an abundance of copies of. But that's for next month. We're not even into Thanksgiving yet, so I'm waiting for Thanksgiving so I can watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I love that when he makes the popcorn, when Snoopy makes all the popcorn and the toast and the like the little ice cream with the whipped cream on it, and was it give root beer? I don't know if he gives soda, but it's toast, popcorn, candy, jelly beans, jelly beans, jelly beans. That's it. Thanks, Allie. Jelly beans. That's what I thought. Yep, jelly beans. That's a classic. That's a classic. I have the DVD of it, so everybody has to watch it on Apple TV now, which I think is stupid. I really think that's so dumb that you can't put them on. You can't put the original Charlie Brown specials on regular TV. They used to put it on ABC, but then they were cutting them up. They were editing them so bad. I just bought the DVDs, almost every one of them. I think I have it's the Easter Beagle. I have Happy Arbor Day Charlie Brown. I have I don't have I don't have A Boy Named Charlie Brown. That was a movie that I've seen many times, but when he's in the spelling bee. But I don't have that one in particular. I have Arbor Day. I have the Christmas one. Obviously, I have that. That was the first one that was showed. And Christmas is 65. And they almost well, all right. We'll get into that next month. But the Thanksgiving one is really a classic. And I like at the end when before the credits roll that Snoopy and Woodstock are eating the turkey, and then Woodstock wins the wishbone, and he just goes flying through the air at the end, and he's just smiling at the camera. It's really cool. I always like this, especially when Snoopy is fighting with the beach chair. Yeah, and he's playing ping pong and basketball. Yeah, I remember that come. Well, if you didn't there were if you watched it back then, you only watched it once a year. It was never repeated. It was you watch it that year or you don't watch it. You watched it that Thanksgiving or you didn't see it at all, unless you taped it. Yeah, Peppermint Patty, yes, she was a little annoying, Allie. I have to admit that. But yeah, I mean, she invites herself over to Charlie Brown's house with Marcy, who doesn't know that actually Peppermint Patty invited herself, and then started, giving Charlie Brown a hard time. I mean, hey, there's a Charlie Brown in every one of us, and he never wants to hurt anybody's feelings. You know, Charlie Brown. He's a good man. He's a good man, Charlie Brown. You know, that was a Broadway show, I think, and it was called "You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown." Yeah, 1967, I think it was made. I think it was made then. Yeah. Well, Charles Schultz, who did the Peanuts comics, he actually wanted to call them Little Folks, but they already had a title of a cartoon like that or a comic strip, so they made him call them Peanuts, which he hated. He hated the title. It was Peanuts featuring good old Charlie Brown in the comics. Even if Charlie Brown was in that particular strip, it said featuring good old Charlie Brown. Uh, but he didn't like them calling it Peanuts. So, but he did it anyway. And you know, the man was in the service. Fought for his country. Uh, Very talented guy, and just a nice guy too. You know, one quote by him I always liked is, "All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt." That's a great quote. It's such a great quote from Charles Schultz. Sparky was his nickname. I always liked him. Yeah, and he wrote so many comic strips for it. I used to get the little books, the little pocket books, like Slide Charlie Brown Slide, or He's Your Dog Charlie Brown, or I used to get them like through Scholastic. I used to get them, I think, at the book fairs when I was a kid. Used to go to the bookmobile. That was like the best thing when a bookmobile came. And real books, like real novels, they were like $1 back then. I was like, look at a novel now, and it's like freaking $35. I'm like, it's crazy. No, Peppermint Patty. No, you're absolutely right, Allie. Yeah, yeah. She just had a very, you know, nasty disposition. I thought. You know, she started later on. Yeah, because Thanksgiving special I think was 1973. Yeah, yeah. But she might have started I think earlier than that. Probably did. I'd like to say probably she did. Yeah, but and it is the New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, Charlie Brown. That one's all right. Uh, I just don't get. I don't have that DVD either, but I just don't get the Happy New Year, Charlie Brown. That he's up all over Christmas Vacation. uh, You know, reading what was he reading? War and Peace, and trying to write a report on it, and nobody else is doing the same thing. And then he gets a D on it, and that was just a weird one for me. I mean, I'm always with the Charlie Brown specials, but some of them, the later ones that they made, I thought were hard to watch. Like Why Charlie Brown, Why, and we won't even get into the subject matter of it, but just want to keep it light. So yeah, but Ali, you're pretty much on par with that. And Nicole, speaking of Black Sabbath albums, my friend at the record shop gets a lot of them in, but it depends on what label they're on. And, you know, there's the one with the witch on the front. There's the other one that's just dark and it has Black Sabbath on it. I never was really a big Black Sabbath fan to know too much about them. Of course, I know Ozzy Osbourne was in the band. That I know. And a lot of people, I mean, God bless him that he passed away earlier this year. Uh, you know, he was down in a record shop that I used to live near called Vintage Vinyl in Fords, New Jersey, and they closed it down. But I would say about good. Wow, how long ago was it? Early 2000s, I think, that he was there, and he was like taking pictures with people because he no longer could write anymore because of his Parkinson's that he had. But he was just taking pictures with everybody. That's what he was doing. I mean, in all honesty, if all I could get was a picture with Ozzy Osbourne, I would take the picture. I mean, that's more indelible than I would say an autograph would be. Only an autograph. If I can only get an autograph and not really take a picture, that's fine too. But if I could have taken a picture with Ozzy Osbourne, that would have been great. I'm not that huge of an Ozzy Osbourne fan. I might have a couple of Black Sabbath songs on a Warner Brothers compilation with other artists on it because they were on Warner Brothers. So I don't know. Maybe I have a couple. Maybe Paranoid is on one of them, and that was the big hit. But I never was a huge Black Sabbath fan. I respect people that listen to it, but it just wasn't me. And I just didn't was there was nothing wrong. I just never listened to it. That's all. Paranoid, I remember hearing, of course, but I never really got too much into that. I remember Blizzard of Oz coming out and Ozzy having the cherries coming out of his mouth like it was supposed to be blood, and people were freaking out about that. And I'm like, those are cherries. It's not blood. It's cherries. I'm like, come on, people, you can't tell. I remember that album being out like in a game store. They had like this video game place near my house years and years ago, like in the early '80s, and they had Blizzard of Oz like right when you walked in, or they had Pyromania by Def Leppard, and but there was also video games in there and things, and it was those got that new stuff in the '80s. That this was not really me. I never really listened to that stuff, so um, not too much. No. But there's some '80s stuff now that I listen to more now than I did then. Because in the 1980s, I was too busy collecting stuff from the previous 20 years. So that was the thing. I wasn't really buying, like even Human League, Don't You Want Me? Even though I love that song, I just never got around to buying it when it came out. Uh, the newest stuff at the time. Stuff that I was a teenager for. It was okay. I mean, you had that new age stuff. It was okay. I mean, it was bad, but I was just paying attention. That was the thing. And in high school, it was, you listen to Pink Floyd or you listen to Led Zeppelin or nobody wanted to talk to you. And I was a Beach Boys guy when I was in high school. Still am. But I was a big Beach Boys fan. The group could do no wrong. But didn't talk to too many people about their albums because there wasn't much to talk about with other people because they didn't have their records. But now I'm more of a Led Zeppelin fan than I was then. Now I have their stuff. But back then it was like, oh my God, how many times are you going to talk about Led Zeppelin? How many times are you going to talk about Dark Side of the Moon? But that's what it was. That's where it was at. But with Pink Floyd, I think their best material was with Sid Barrett in 1967, 68. I did mostly 67. And then he went on to do the Madcap Laughs, Sid Barrett. A lot of that Sid Barrett solo stuff I heard was very good. And I have Piper at the Gates of Dawn, but I have it in a CD collection. And I have it on like a 2 for album LP. That with a Saucer Full of Secrets. But I like Piper at the Gates of Dawn more than Saucer Full of Secrets because Saucer Full of Secrets doesn't have that much vocal on it. Piper at the Gates of Dawn has more songs on it, so I like that much better. And a friend of mine, in the store that I got the shirt from, he sold an original stereo copy of Piper at the Gates of Dawn on LP on Tower Records, the Tower label, and somebody picked it up for $150 last week. Guy bought a whole stack of records for $345 for a whole stack of records. He bought that one and he bought a few others. And the Pink Floyd one was hanging on the wall, and he bought that. And I was like, well, I'm glad it sold. Somebody's going to buy it. I mean, if I had that kind of money for that, maybe I would have, but it might have had to be a little bit better condition than it was because it was good condition and it was bordering on very nice condition. But I would have to, and it would have been much more if it was. So, and it would have been a hell of a lot more if it was in mono too. Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Yeah, Nicole would have loved the photo with Sharon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was the poor girl. I mean, after he passed away, my God, online was all over Facebook, and it's like the English they want to be left alone. When it comes to that, instead of having everything online on social media every which way but loose. They ask the fans to please just let them grieve and be at peace. Instead of going all over the place and sending them hellos and this, that, and the other thing, just say a prayer, and that's the best thing you could do for them. That's what Paul McCartney said when Linda passed away, when his wife passed away. That's what happened. Who else was it? Another one that passed away that I couldn't think of. That was English. Yeah, yeah. It's just to let them have peace and let them mourn, let them have their time. Like you would anybody, like you would have a friend do, or a family member. Just be respectful. That's all. I mean, there's so many people showed up for the funeral, which I mean, he was very respected, Ozzy, and that he was sick, before that, but he was a good musician. He was a good singer. Was a good entertainer, and now he's with a spiritual reward now. I'm glad that he lived a good life for as long as he could live. So, but as far as that goes, I once in a while I watch the reality show, but not very often. I didn't watch it. I don't watch it that very often. No. Here's some other stuff I got. What else did I get? that I really like. Oh yeah, here you go. This is Crosby, Stills and Nash's first album, the debut from 1969. And I picked this up. I have a couple of copies of this. This particular one doesn't have the lyric sheet with it, but I do have one with the lyric sheet because, as you can tell, there's no song titles here. There's no song title. There's on. Oh, there is on here on the back. This is like almost a promo copy, but I don't think it's a promo copy. I think it's just a regular copy with the stamps of the songs that are on it, because the original copies of these didn't have these stickers on it that it says includes Sweet Judy Blue Eyes and Marrakesh Express. Now, this was a gold record award at the time, and this was already gold, in 1969. This is the original. Oops, get that out of there. This is the original Atlantic sleeve that came with it. So it's like a late 60s, 1969, inner sleeve. But it has the sticker on the front, has the gold record award. And one of the other ones I have has the lyric sheet in it. But on the back, it has, let's see, was always a people's person, wanted to do one last show, as he always was a party, wild animal with all the stuff he took. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he partied himself out, I think. Yeah. Yeah, he was in the Betty Ford clinic quite a bit, I think, in rehab. He was. I know. On the back of this, it has all the originals, all the songs that are on the album, actually. There's other copies I've seen does not have this. This is like, these are like hype stickers that are in beautiful shape. And it's one of my it's wonderful. It's a great debut album by Crosby, Stills and Nash. All great songs from beginning to end. And I'm glad I picked it up. I think this is maybe $10, maybe 10, maybe 8, I think. Well, it was 15, and I think I got it for 10, something like that. Now, who remembers 10cc? Does anybody remember 10cc, The Things We Do for Love? Big Boy, I'm Not in Love is another one. It was another big hit for them. They were really originally a real progressive band, but yeah, the songs on here are The Things We Do for Love and People in Love. Yeah, I picked this up too. It's their 1977 album, Deceptive Bends, because I really liked. I have the single, The Things We Do for Love, but I didn't listen to this album yet. But this also has a sticker on it that says includes The Things We Do for Love and People in Love. So on the Mercury label, has the original lyric sleeve with it. I figured, I like to buy records when I go into a shop that I don't already have. Which cover do you mean, Nicole? Was it the Crosby, Stills and Nash, or was it 10cc? Can I edit this so the responses will come faster? I don't know if I should hit edit. If I hit edit, I don't know if it's going to go crazy on me. I don't want to lose you guys. I mean, I could wait a minute or two for you guys to answer. So I could try. Well, let me see. Okay, I took it off slow mode, and I'm still here. Yay! Good for me. Namaste. All right. Chat away, everybody. Hit me with your best shot. Yep. I see you, Allie. I see you, Allie. Yep. There you are. Testing, testing. Nice. Okay. Chat away. Well, it's not kaput. It's putka, which means it's back. So yeah. Now Nicole, which album cover art did you say was good? Did you like was it the 10cc album or was it Crosby, Stills and Nash? Probably was. Yeah, this is. I remember this album art when it was out back then. Oh, this one, yeah, yeah, okay. Crosby, Stills and Nash. Yeah. Now on the back, there's someone looking through the window, and some people think that's Neil Young. It's not actually. It's Dallas Taylor, who was on their second album, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu. Okay, so that's right over here. As a matter of fact, let me get that one. Here it is. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu, with Dallas Taylor and Greg Reeves. This is the second. This is the second album with a gold record award sticker too. Okay. And this is most likely an original copy too, because this came out in 1970, and this is what the Atlantic records looked like at the time. Because it has Led Zeppelin 3, I think, which was the most, and also advertises Deja Vu on it. So, okay. And is this album from? It's Atlantic. Yep, it's an 1841 Broadway Atlantic copy. So yeah, that's a good album too. Deja Vu. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, the Easter egg. Yeah, with Dallas Taylor on the back. Yeah, yeah. I thought that might have been Neil Young, but it didn't look like him at the beginning. Yeah, and yeah, it is a nice little Easter egg on it. Yeah, but Deja Vu was with Neil Young, and then Neil Young hung around for a little bit, but then after a while, it was just like written on the wall that they really couldn't stay together that much. There was so many egos in the room with that band. So, but they still made the great music, though. I mean, there were egos in every single band, but the thing is once you get into the studio, when you get to work, that's what's fun about it is the music, because that's what everybody loves. Every business, no matter where you work, no matter what you do, there's always going to be, the behind the scenes stuff. But music is a universal language. And even Paul McCartney said when they were recording the Beatles, the double album, aka the White Album, they said that they did get on each other's nerves during those sessions more than they did earlier. But they said that when they sat down though and did the music, it was like they were happy. I mean, but who's not gonna get along with somebody at one point in the studio, in a marriage, in a friendship? But I have pictures of the Beatles that Linda McCartney. It's a great book. It's called Linda McCartney's '60s. She was the photographer, and she took all these great black and white and color photos of many groups at the time. She took the Beatles, but in the later years, right from Sergeant Pepper's up, and it showed that when they were sitting down at doing the Beatles, the double album, they were smiling and having a good time. When Paul was at the piano and working out stuff and all of that. I mean, they were still friends, but that's all. That's you always feel like you got to defend people or defend certain things. I mean, social media, people go crazy. This guy wasn't a good father. This person didn't do this. All the time. It's like, guys, listen to the music. That's what everybody loves. It's the music. It's not where the hell they got along all the time. Eh, you know, to be in a group like that, it's one thing also to be in a group together. It's also another thing to be related and be in a group. Just ask the Beach Boys, ask the Everly Brothers, you know, ask the Jacksons, Jackson 5, ask them, ask the Osmonds. You know, it's not easy being in a group like that, and being related is another thing, because it's almost like you have to separate the two, and it isn't easy to do. And I think I don't want to say impossible, but I would say it's next to impossible to do that. But anywho, oh, here's one that I was able to pick up, that I was very happy, that I was very lucky to get. Um, this is John Lennon's 1971 album, Imagine, and it's pretty special because it's a nice looking copy, very nice looking copy from 1971. It's an original, and it's on a custom label. It's like an apple, but with John's face on it on the front, but on the back, it's a regular sliced apple, but it's white. His Apple label was white in the beginning. I just put it in a separate, nice dust-free sleeve, and it has the original in a sleeve with everybody that was involved with the record. Take that. What do you mean, take that, Nicole? What does that mean? Hmm. Okay. And it has the original poster, which shows John at the piano. I'm not really going to open up the whole thing, but it's John at the piano. It's in beautiful shape, and it also has the original postcard that came with it. John with his hands on a pig, because Paul McCartney had an album called Ram, and he had it. He was holding a ram by the horns. So this is a picture of John Lennon with a pig, as the pig is eaten. But there was another version with a different postcard in it of him dressed like as a what they call a satire. It was like half man, half horse, playing a pan flute. Because I think they made another one, because I think McCartney didn't like that idea of what he did with that picture. But that was the original picture that came with it. But I have the one with the pan flute though, with the same with the poster and oh, take that. Oh, you mean a band that was related? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, there were a lot of bands that stood the test of time. You know, the Kinks. I mean, Ray and Dave Davies. They were both brothers. There were two brothers out of like 9 brothers and sisters in that family, but they had their spats throughout the entire career. So I mean, but it doesn't take away from the music at all. It doesn't. It does not. Well, those are the ones. Those are the and here's a couple of other things. Here's an original picture sleeve of "I'm Down" and "Help I'm Down" with the Beatles. An original from 1965. Bought this for like $10 at my friend's shop, and I got the Tremolos. "Silence Is Golden," a really good tune. The Four Seasons had a hit with this too, and I think Tremolos might have had a bigger hit of it, but this is with the picture sleeve. And the Beatles, "A Hard Day's Night," and I should have known better. Um, Great songs. I should have known better. His has the original Nichols TV Nichols price tag on here, and I think I should have known better is probably one of my favorite B sides that John did as one of the Beatles, because I think it's so happy go lucky. It's such a nice song, and he was really happy with it. Yeah, Robin Williams was a part of them, but isn't now. Does his own thing now. Did battle with drug addiction. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess with that stuff, Nicole, it just that stuff was so ready for you when you had that kind of money, and when you had that kind of time, and uh, when you needed it. When some of them needed it. Like you're doing like 24-hour one night stands or whatever, and then you're getting on a plane and you got to be up for another one, and it's just Billy Preston even said it, that when he would come off stage, well, ready to come on stage or whatever, and he was just not feeling well, they would go, "Here you go, Billy," and he would just do that, and then the whole show would go on. It's just it was so available to do that nobody thought of it at the time. It's I don't condone it at all. I mean, I've never done that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I mean, you probably think back then when you're so young that nothing's going to happen to you when you do stuff like that. But you know, um, things can happen like that. So it depends. It also depends on your body chemistry and what kind of personality you have. You know. Yeah, I think I do remember that band. No, I think I do remember that band. Take that. Yeah, I'm glad I got the chat going better. I'm glad everything is working out now. Let's see. Well, the Rangers take on Columbus tomorrow night. That's a that's going to be a good game. Hope we could put a little streak together and win again. Igor probably had his best game the other night. I think with 31 saves. I think that was Igor. That was prime Igor the other night. Even though the game was a little crazy in the beginning, but I'm glad they won. You know, uh, and they 8-1-1 on the road. It's amazing. And one other album I bought a copy of Tommy. I already have a couple copies of this, but I just thought it was such a nice copy of it, and it's pretty crisp and clean. It's and I like this better. I like the concept album much better than I do the movie Tommy. I saw bits and pieces of Tommy, and that's all I needed to see. The 1975 film that they did with all the other artists that were in the film doing the songs. I just no, I just think the Who did it the best because it was their concept. It was their concept. You know, Pete Townsend always had things going. Concepts. Like the Who Sell Out. I have that. I have the box set, which I haven't listened to yet, and I've had that for a while. There's so many box sets I got. I'm like, I gotta cut down on the box sets unless it's something I really, really don't have in any format. So I have Tommy on 5.1 surround sound. and it's a pretty darn good sound. It's an album that should have that kind of recording for it. But oh yeah, me neither. It's hard finding records with all that stuff in them with the sleeves and postcards. What have you? Extra bits not paying. Oh, what have you? Extra bits not paying $50 for it. No, I didn't. The Tommy one. This $5 did I get this for? Five with the original poster. You're surprised because sometimes this thing could go for 20, 25. I mean, some things with postcards at the John Lennon album I got for like 10 or 8, I think. And I was like, with everything in it. And I didn't play it yet, but I'm sure it sounds okay. Yeah, it is. Sometimes it's hard. Yeah, not paying $50 for it. Yeah, that's true though. It is. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy to find it. I mean, there was a record by Cheech and Chong called Big Bambi, and it looked like a box of cigarettes. It looked like a cigarette box, and it had the rolling paper in it. And they're saying like with the rolling paper now it's going for an X amount of dollars. I saw a copy of it down in Quakertown, PA, in a place called Record Revival, which I haven't been down to in a long time, and it's been a while. But try to save on gas and stuff. That's a good 45 to 50 minutes to drive down there. And they had a copy of Big Bambi in a small bin, nice shape, with the rolling paper, and it was $6. Now, I didn't buy it. I was thinking about it and saying, okay, yeah, for a laugh. But I'm like, no, nah, it's all right if I don't have it. I don't need it. So yeah, I didn't pick it up though, Nicole. The Big Bambi. I did see it, but I didn't pick it up. I didn't buy it. Well, there's the one. There's the one with what is it? What is this? What is it? Alice Cooper? What is it? Billion dollar babies with the panties inside? I think that's it. Is that the one? Yeah, I think that's the one that has it. Do feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but there are times I am. That's how I learn. I walk into the record shop like every week because just to see everybody, and there's stuff that I learn. I mean, my friend who owns the shop, you would not believe the taste of music that he has. I mean, he's a big Bob Dylan fan, huge. The man is a huge Bob Dylan fan, huge. And uh, also, he loves the blues, early blues. I mean, you're going back to like the 20s and the 30s, Barbecue Bob Hicks, Motherless Child blues that he did that Eric Clapton remade. And you know, uh Big Joe Turner and his Blues Kings, the Atlantic stuff, the stuff that was on Atlantic Records, Stax Records, Volt Records, the soul, R&B, the Young Rascals, the Blue Eyed Soul, that kind of stuff. I'm more into the Young Rascals more I think than he is, but because that's Blue Eyed Soul. But I love the soul, I love jazz, I love Motown. I mean, it's so amazing the different records that I find, and it's just like, hey, this is great. I never heard this before. Like there was a gentleman that a good friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in years, but my friend Kevin, um, he was a big Motown fan. Is a big Motown fan, and I got into Motown because of him. I mean, my Motown collection grew like you would never believe. But I have like Martha and the Vandellas. I have the Supremes. I have Smokey Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Uh, you know, Junior Walker and the All Stars. Shotgun. An amazing. I'm a road runner. That album I have, and there's lots of good stuff by Junior Walker and the All Stars. It's there's so much different kinds of music, and that I haven't even experienced. Yeah, but I go into the shop and I'll hear different stuff. But it's really sometimes you could get things for like a real big bargain price. You can find a lot of gems for a lot of for very little money. And you know that sometimes, I work with people with their prices. When I used to go to shows, I don't know how it is now, but when I went to shows, there were people that they would go. Thank you for the likes tonight, guys, and thanks for everybody for showing up. Uh, Allie, thanks for passing the word about it. Nicole, Lauren, and Whitney, and I would go to people like if I had a price record for like maybe I'd say 20, and it was the end of the day. Hi, Lauren, good to see you. I was at shows, and if a record was like 20 bucks, I'd say, would you take 10? And if it was the end of the day, and he's like, yeah, okay. Oh, you're listening and you're lurking. Okay, lurking in the background. I get it. Yeah. Okay. So, um, sometimes I would get it for 10. It depends. It depends because they would know me. Don't mind some jazz, especially Frank Sinatra. Well, I'll tell you something, Nicole. My family loved Frank Sinatra. I like his daughter Nancy though. That's the records that I bought, and I have the. Thanks, Lauren. Thank you. Yeah, definitely hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you like. To Nick the Record Lover. Be wonderful if you would, and pass the word. That I want to try to get more videos done again because I was doing them like this, and it was just it was just a slow period for me for a while there. Um, a new job and all that, and going through that and stuff. So, you know, uh, so some people would say, is it good going to a good home if I was buying a record that I was interested in getting? And I was like, yeah, I'm not selling it. That's for sure. I'm not buying it for $5 to go sell it for 50. I'm not. I have turned in records before, thinking that you're going to get money. You're not. Just in case anybody wants to know if they want to sell their records and it says we pay top dollar, don't even pay attention to that sign. Nowhere. If it says we pay top dollar, they do not. They never will. If you watch porn stars, same shit. It is. It's like, yeah, his Beatles revolver sealed from 1966. Oh, well, let me get my record guy that knows what he's talking about. I'm like, yeah, the record guy would be me that you'd be calling. You wouldn't be calling some dude who thinks he knows his shit and he doesn't. It's a whole thing on that show. I really wouldn't like it after a while. It's like this is an original signature from John Lennon. Oh, well, let me get a guy that I know that knows about John Lennon autographs. I'm like, yeah, I don't think there is one. Maybe there is out there, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust it. Number one. Um, no, jazz, Nicole. I love. Yeah, New York, New York. Yeah, yeah, New York, New York. My father, huge fan. I mean, he had the albums. Frank Sinatra. I mean, my sister probably has the Sinatra albums now, but Frank Sinatra, a man in his music, uh, I think taking it easy, nice and easy. Yeah, with him going like this in the background. Most of his stuff on Capitol Records he had, but he bought Sinatra like in the '60s. His tastes evolved, overlapped into decades. Like, oh, I asked in the past, live was that live? What songs make you happy? Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I guess so. The Xanadu album? Way to go, Lauren. I love that record too. I saw that movie 4 times when it was out. Yeah, well, yeah, Nicole, My Way. Yeah, Paul Anka wrote that for Frank Sinatra, actually. You know, uh, you, yeah, New York, New York. I like his version of New York better than Liza Minnelli. Yeah, I do. I do. And I love his Christmas album, Frank Sinatra. And I have the Frank Sinatra Family Christmas on CD. I don't have it on I don't think I have it on LP. I might. I have one of the singles from that album called It's Such a Lonely Time of Year. And it's Nancy singing from the album. And the other side is called Kids. And not to be confused with You Better Sit Down, Kids, which she also did. But Kids. Did she do You Better Sit Down, Kids? That was Cher. I know that. But I don't know if Nancy Sinatra did You Better Sit Down, Kids. I have to think of that. Yeah. What makes you happy? Yeah. Well, that album made me happy at the time. I tell you, I would play that on and on and on, Warren, especially the ELO stuff. I mean, Jeff Lynne did not want ELO did not want to be associated with that record after that came out because they put out a box set of ELO in 1990, 1991, and Jeff Lynne said, "Do not put anything from the Xanadu soundtrack on that box set." And I'm thinking, why? What is he ashamed of? I mean, I'm Alive. That is like, I remember that scene, the production number in in Xanadu when all the muses came off the wall, or the mural, they all came alive. And I have the DVD of it, the 5-1 DVD, and it came with the CD version of the soundtrack. It was a special release. That I bought off of eBay. It was like $9, brand new. And I got $9, $10. I think, and it was free shipping. I think. And to have the CD and I have the original LP, I have I'm Alive on 45. I don't have the Suddenly 45, but I like that one. I don't know if I have All Over the World on 45. I have this, but I have the LP. I love that. I love that album. And I saw that movie three times with my sister on Labor Day weekend in 1980. And some people have said over the years that it's a tasteless movie. I'm like, tasteless? What do you mean, what is tasteless about the film? It's based on a Rita Hayworth film. Rita Hayworth, was she in it? Called Down to Earth. And it was like they were watching a play from Olympus, watching a play being done about the gods and goddesses, the Greek gods and goddesses. And the gods in Olympus got so annoyed by it that they sent one of the goddesses down, played by Rita Hayworth, to be a muse for one of the guys. And in the end, well, I won't tell you the end because it's almost like Xanadu. Xanadu was almost like that film. My mother and grandmother had Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli albums. Yeah, yeah. A lot of Barbra Streisand. My father had Barbra Streisand too. Yeah, yeah. I would study the album covers too. Yeah, I would do the same thing. Yeah, yeah. My mom had Funny Girl. Yeah, the Funny Girl soundtrack. I remember that. The Rita Hayworth movie is called Down to Earth, is what it's called. And that's what I think Xanadu is loosely based on. Now, Xanadu, they had Olivia Newton-John locked up for 3 films. They had a 3 movie deal because of Grease. They wanted to put her in. Yeah, the Funny Girl album cover is really colorful. But you also have to remember that what's on the record of the soundtrack of the play or the movie was different, whatever they did in the studio. when they did My Fair Lady, Julie Andrews, when they originally released the Columbia album in mono, there was the original soundtrack from the play itself, not the movie. It was the Broadway play, the original cast. When they put it in stereo, they actually went back into the studio a couple of years later, because the original, I think, was 1958, 57. And then they went back in a few years later to re-record My Fair Lady for stereo because they couldn't take the original My Fair Lady mono master and make that into stereo. They didn't do that. They went back in, the entire cast went back into the studio to record it for stereo. That's how they did it. And Julie Andrews said at the time, she said that was a great thing to do. She says that we had so much fun going back in there and recording it for stereo. And I never knew that they did that until many years later because it's a Jackie Gleason record called For Lovers Only, Music for Lovers Only. And it was released in mono. And then when it was released in stereo, they all went back in and did the songs all over again for the stereo mix. They didn't just take the mono version and rechannel it and put some here and some here. They went in and recorded it all in stereo, all brand new. I think that Rita Hayworth movie, I have to watch it. It's probably on YouTube. Yeah, but be sure you get the right length of the film, Lauren. Sometimes that they throw on ones that are edited, so just be careful with them. But yeah, Liza Minnelli. My father loved Liza Minnelli. Didn't have her records, but he liked her too. Judy Garland, yeah. My sister's more of a Judy Garland fan because of The Wizard of Oz, of course. And she saw Wicked. She was really much into that stuff. So yeah, but Judy Garland was an excellent singer. In fact, Meet Me in St. Louis has Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I don't know if that was the first movie to have that song in it. Maybe. Could be. Guys got to tell me. Guys got to help me out here. Yeah. Judy Garland, another one, but another tragic figure. Too young. When they always asked Liza Minnelli to do Over the Rainbow, she would never do that live. No. Somebody yelled out Over the Rainbow, and she would look back and say, "It's been done." And now that was it. Like she would never do that song. But I mean, that's in respect, for her mother, Eliza. I mean, but Xanadu, getting back to Xanadu. Swifters in pink and green. Talk about the candy? Oh, it can't be. Swifters are not. You mean Swift as in Taylor? No, I don't think so, right? That's a Swiftie. Oh, the things that dry off the floor. Okay, I'm way off. All right. Oh, and pink and green for Wicked. Oh my God. Oh. Talk about merchandising. Yeah. The things that dry off the floor. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I gotta love it. Um, yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, my sister wrote. I think she read all the Wicked books. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Rita Hayworth movie. Yeah, down to earth. But I think that Xanadu. I had now. This is just between you and me. The four walls. Everybody probably in here on YouTube. It'll get out somehow. But I wasn't the only one. That my first female crush was my first My first female crush. My first crush was Olivia Newton-John. I wanted to be in the movie Xanadu with her so much. I did. Michael Beck, yeah, all right. But what about me? I could be in that film, you know. But I thought it was a good story. I mean, people thought, but another thing is too about Xanadu is it went through so many different rewrites of the script. It was supposed to be this kind of a movie. Then they had to edit it. Then they had to rewrite it. And what you see, they said, what you see is not what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be much more than what you saw. Oh, since you were 10? Yeah, well, yeah. But since I saw Grease. But Grease was good. I liked her, but Xanadu like put me over the edge. That was it. I mean, that was it with Xanadu. The album, her singing, looking for part two of Wicked movie, and my sister probably is too, Nicole. Probably is too. Yeah. Well, she's up with all that. She loves that stuff. She's been my girl crush since she was 10. Yeah. Yeah. Well, she's been my crush since I was 10. Yeah. Well, eight, when I saw Grease in 78, yeah, I liked her a lot. And I watched her a lot when she was on talk shows. But then by the time Xanadu came out, I was like, I was in love. That's it. That's it for me. That's it. I'll take her away from all of that. I'll take her away from all the bad parts of showbiz. I was 10. She was probably 30. No. When was she? 1948? Yeah. She was about 30 when she was in Greece. And she was, all right, 32 when she was in Xanadu. I was like, well, who cares, right? You know, I think the music on that album, Don't Walk Away, the animation that they use in Xanadu for that, The Fall, the Electric Light Orchestra, and you got Gene Kelly and Olivia Newton-John singing "Whenever You're Away from Me." That was great. Yeah, great songs. I mean, Nicole, it was a Broadway play in 1972. Actually, it was I met him too. What the hell's his name? Oh God. It wasn't Travolta, Bob. Of course not. I would know that. It was Jeff Conaway. Jeff Conaway played Danny Zuko in the play Grease at one point, but originally Barry Bostwick, who was then in um, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was the original Danny Zuko in Grease, even though Jeff Conaway played Danny Zuko, and then he played Kaneki in the movie. Barry Bostwick was the original. The original Sandy in Grease. Does anybody remember the Magic Garden TV show? Let me ask you this. Show of hands if anybody remembers the Magic Garden TV show. That was on Channel 11 PIX in New York between 1974 and 1979. Or even later than that. Yeah. Carol, okay? Carol played the original Sandy in Grease in 1972. She created the role because I had a conversation with her on the phone years ago, and she said, "I created the role." She said it to me like that, like a zing. I said, "You were the original?" She says, "I created it." I said, "I did not know that. My goodness." Yeah, it was Carol. Yeah, Carol. Yeah, you're too young. All right. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, but I remember my sister bought the album, the Grease soundtrack, and everybody was going crazy with Grease Lightning and the original lyrics, and they say shit, they say tit, they say other things about Grease Lightning, and I'm like, okay, well, this video is not made for kids, so but you know, it's not like they didn't use those words back in the 1950s. So, but 1972, a lot of people are looking back. There was a lot of people that wanted the nostalgia. They wanted the good old days. They wanted the oldies but goldies, and it was only 20 years earlier. But everybody, people were starting to long for the good old days. After the Second World War, pre-Vietnam, but Cold War. You know, yeah. So I really enjoy. What's funny is that in Xanadu, Gene Kelly said, "I'm not dancing in this film," but what they did do when the production wrapped up and they finished the film the way it was finished, they did go back in and do that production number of "Whenever You're Away from Me" with Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly, because that I don't know, they kind of got him at the last minute and said, "Just do one more," and he did, and he did a great job. I mean, in that film, and so like I said, they wrapped it all up, and then they went back to the studio and did that, and then stuck it in there. So that was filmed after the film actually wrapped up. And and actually in the roller skating scenes, Gene Kelly is roller skating. He's doing his own skating. So um and do I like watching old musicals? Oh, do like watching old musicals though. Don't get me wrong. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah. Grease. Yeah. Purple Rain. Yeah. 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 I have the Purple Rain CD box set. I have that. Um Yeah, I remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but I don't think I saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I know about it, but I never did see it. Mary Poppins, yeah, but not the whole thing. I know the production numbers though, but I never was a huge fan of Mary Poppins or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I think Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews were great actor, actress, and I mean, I like Disney films. I like some Disney musicals, but I'm more of a Warner Brothers cartoons kind of person. Bugs Bunny, you know, uh, Porky Pig, Yosemite Sam, Pepe Le Pew, guys like that. Flintstones, like that too. But yeah, I know those musicals. I mean, grew up with them. TV, and I saw them when they put them back in the films. I mean, I saw Peach Dragon, the original Peach Dragon in the film, the original Peter Pan, uh, film. I mean, the cartoon. It was that. It was Peter Pan, and then came what do you call? And then Peach Dragon was after that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't dislike the Disney films, but what I think is a shame is, and I'll say it just in a diplomatic fashion, is I don't know why we'll never see Song of the South again. I just don't think that that's right at all. I mean, I remember it being in the movies when I was a kid. I mean, not when it was originally out, but when they did play it in the theaters, when kids, when kids, my age at the time would go see Disney films. Seeing Uncle Remus singing zippity doo dah zippity and what Brer Rabbit, and it's just like they took that off the market. Disney says they'll never show it again, and it's like, but it's wrong to not show it. It is. It is. I mean, if you really want to get serious about it, what about 1942? Was it 1942? Yeah, it was 1942. Yeah, when Fantasia came out, it was in 1941. Yeah, Fantasia came out. Yeah, in Technicolor animation, and you had Mickey Mouse's Sorcerer's Apprentice. And don't tell me that there was something funny going on with Disney at the time. Like that there weren't any chemical reactions to anything at that point. I mean, you have a hippopotamus in a tutu dancing with an alligator. Was the alligator in a tutu? No, the hippopotamus I think was in in the tutu and dancing with an alligator. I'm like, oh boy. But that's what kind of inspired Yellow Submarine a little bit. I don't know if it did. I mean, people say that, but I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I think that that film should be out again. If it offends anybody, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, yeah. Nicole actually did one of the what was it, Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans, like the Phil Spector era, did a single version of Zippity Doodah. I'm like, okay. And people, they got to lighten up a little bit. A little bit. I don't think we're up to a little bit. I think we got to be much, but that's not my choice whether or not to release that film again. I mean, Disney used to take films off of the shelves. They used to take them out of print and wait 7 years for the next generation of children to watch them. And I guess that was a good marketing thing. They did that. I don't, I guess I don't know because they would take that. Like I said, they would take them off for 7 years. Singing in the Rain. Need to teach kids the old stuff. Some of the music is catchy, sticks with you. Yep. Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. I mean, Nicole, you could tell that Donald O'Connor is having the time of his life in Singing in the Rain. Now, Gene Kelly was an excellent dancer. He's he's dancing very well, and he's very talented. But freaking Donald O'Connor in Singing in the Rain, make him laugh when he's freaking tap dancing up and down the sofas and everything. Well, I think it also helped that it probably also helped that Donald O'Connor was about 27 years old when he was in that film. And Gene Kelly I think was almost 40, like almost in his 40s by the time that film came out. I think maybe 40. 1952. Yeah, and that was another one that was in color. Singing in the Rain. Yep. Yeah, it's really, really catchy stuff. But getting back to Xanadu real quick, the it wasn't promoted well either. That was the problem with that film. The 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 promos for it, the trailers for it, actually on that DVD that I have has a trailer as a bonus feature, and it has a lot of the people that were dancers in that film interviewed, and they said that it went through too many rewrites, and what came out of it is what came out of it. It was supposed to be much more than it was, and I've seen the trailer for it. I'm thinking, see, I don't remember a trailer for it back then. I remember the soundtrack album. I remember the songs, but I don't remember seeing that many trailers for it when I was a kid. And there is one. They show you the one on the DVD, and it's just like off the cuff, you know. Gene Kelly, Olivia Newton-John, and introducing Michael Beck, Xanadu, coming soon. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was just about as vague as you can get. It really didn't kick off now. And I remember back in the early 2000s, 2007, that I was reading that they made Xanadu into a musical on Broadway. I think that's what they did. And they said it was a tasteless movie. Why would you make a play out of it? But I still can't understand tasteless. What do you mean tasteless? What is wrong about it? Michael Beck, I don't think, went to too many things after that. That was the thing. I think he did a TV movie that I remember seeing, and he was an evil guy in it. And then after that, didn't see a hide of hair of him after that film, after that TV show. But Olivia, God bless her, we loved her. I loved her. The first song I remember hearing from her was "Have You Never Been Mellow," and that song is a tearjerker. And I love when she does "Let Me Be There" is another one. It's a good one. "Please, Mister Please." Um, "Hopelessly Devoted to You." Of course, that. Suddenly, she sings with Cliff Richard in uh, for the Xanadu album, even though Cliff Richard wasn't in it. Maybe he could have been, but couldn't get him, I guess. Excuse me. And Magic. If I got the 45 Magic, I might even have that because they all came out with picture sleeves for the Xanadu singles all over the world. Had a picture sleeve. It just had like that Xanadu thing, like the cover, and it just had. Now I know that my friends got Suddenly with the picture sleeve, and I'm like, yeah, all right, but I like it on the album better. I mean, separately, it's okay, but I like it on the album. I like it as part of the concept. For me. I mean, you could even call that a concept album. And think about the Blues Tonight, the one that the music they do with the group The Tubes. I mean, you know, but when they asked the Tubes to do that song live, they never would. I guess they were just so disillusioned with the film that they didn't, and they stopped Olivia's contract to do 3 films because it was going to be she was going to be in Xanadu, she was going to be in Thank God It's Friday, or was it Can't Stop the Music? No, I think it was Xanadu, Can't Stop the Music, and Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the Bee Gees version. She was going to play Strawberry Fields in that picture. And at the last minute, they said no, she wouldn't do it. So they got Sandy Farina to do the. She was pretty cute too. I remember seeing that film, but I don't associate with that at all. At that film, that was a Bee Gees blunder, if you will. They tried to get out of that at the last second, but they were tied to the contract to do it. And the thing that Robin, may he rest in peace, loved the guy, loved the Bee Gees. Robin Gibbs said, "We're going to make everybody forget about the Beatles version of Sergeant Pepper's." No. And actually, that version was also a play on Broadway. in 1974. And then they made it Robert Stigwood, and they made it into a film in 78, 77, 78. And then that only made the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's just come right back into the spotlight again. You know, for saying you're going to make everybody forget about the Bee Gees record. I mean, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's. That's not something you say. It's just not something you say. That's one thing I only disagree with the Bee Gees about. Was doing that film. I mean, you can't. I mean, when they were on the Midnight Special, they did a great medley of Beatles songs. But when they did disco kind of versions of Nowhere Man and Lucy and This Guy with Diamonds, I was like, no, 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 no. They didn't only do songs from that; they did songs from Abbey Road, and yeah, no, I just couldn't do it. I mean, Steve Martin singing Maxwell Silverhammer as a dentist, and I'm like, that is just so dumb. But that's the deal. That's my deal. I mean, I never cared for the film. I saw it once, and I just don't like what they did with it. Same thing with like that Across the Universe film with the Beatles, you know. But that's how some people learn the Beatles songs. So I'm like, that's the way you learn them. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I knew Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds after watching Yellow Submarine. So hope everybody has a nice time tonight because I think I'm going to wrap it up now because I got a big weekend ahead of me, and I really appreciate everybody being here. Once again, if you'd like to subscribe to Nick the Record Lover, do so. I love to have you as part of my family. Uh, thank you to Ali and Nicole and Lauren for being here tonight. Whitney for being here tonight. Everybody, all my friends that came in tonight to watch my video that I haven't done in a while. But I really want to say goodnight now. It's about 25 after 9, and we've been on for almost 2 hours and 5 minutes tonight. So, guys, just I want to say an official goodnight to you all, and I hope you guys all have a great night. And let's go Rangers. Good night, Nick. Happy to be here. Thanks, Allie. Have a good time. Don't work too hard tonight. Thanks, Nicole. I'll see you guys all tomorrow night if you're going to be at the Rangers chat with Andrew and Aaron. And 7 o'clock tomorrow night, the puck drops. So hopefully we'll get better. I know you'll be. Yep, you'll be there tomorrow night, Allie. Hope Nicole will be there, and Lauren and the one true Whitney will be there tomorrow night. But thank you for all coming tonight and listening and sharing all your thoughts and memories. So, until next time, and it'll be much sooner. This is Nick the Record Lover. Peace, also known as Encyclopedia Nick. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. I love you all. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it. Good night. Love you.